What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Tiebreak Podcast. Today, I want to talk about the man Jannik Sinner, because holy cow, has he been on a heck of a run. Just completed the Golden Masters, second man in history to ever complete this. He's also 24 years old. The other man to complete this, Novak Djokovic, took him until he was 31 to complete this. Why is this? There's a couple different reasons. You look at, there might be a little less competition at the top. I also want to say Andre Agassi basically completed this. He completed all of the Masters 1000 events that were available to him during his career. And I don't want to say that this is necessarily a weak era, but when you look at Roger Federer, he was kind of gatekept at Rome, at Monte Carlo, by the King of Clay, Rafa Nadal, who on the flip side, he had to go against a lot of hard court specialists. One of the best hard court specialists, Novak Djokovic. And speaking of Djokovic, he even struggled for a long time, particularly with Monte Carlo, which again, he's going against the best clay court player of all time, Rafa Nadal. So to say that we might be a little less top heavy, we have Carlos, we have Sinner, and those are the big two right now. And with Carlos dealing with these injuries, right now it's his wrist. A couple years ago it was his forearm. Before that it was his hamstring, his back. At what point do you say he's injury prone? I hope he's not, because he's the only one that's able to really go toe-to-toe with Sinner right now. And yeah, we have an aging Novak, but especially at these Masters events where it's best of 3, not best of 5, matches aren't going over 4 hours, aren't going to 5 sets. We know the record of Sinner for those. But while we might have less final bosses, so to speak, less of the big 3, I think we have a little more depth when it comes to the 10th through 50th ranked guys. I think round of 64, round of 32, round of 16 might be a little tougher than maybe the big 3 had it in terms of the level of competition and the difference. With that said, I don't think the competition steps up for Sinner as much as it did for the big 3. The big 3 were going against each other. You were in the semifinal, in the final, you were going against Roger, you were going against Rafa, you were going against Novak. At the same time, in the quarterfinals, you were going against the Stanimal, you were going against Andy Murray, you were going against Juan Del Potro, you're going against Thomas Berdych. Even in the round of 16, those were some tough matches getting into that. The last 4 matches you played in the tournament, that's a pretty high level of competition. With that said, Sinner's probably the best player currently. He's continued to show his hard court dominance. He's really improved his game on the clay. He is stupidly precise, and he's super consistent on the court. He's also super consistent mentally. Yeah, you could say maybe physically he's not as consistent when it gets deeper in a match. But I'm not going to talk about that right now, because ultimately this is talking about his Golden Masters, which we're not. He doesn't face that. He does not have a true weakness. He doesn't have a weak surface. I would not be surprised for him to win them all again, become the second man to do that. Probably also at a younger age than Novak Djokovic. I'm not going to be surprised if he completes the career slam in a month and a half from now. Not going to be surprised if he completes the Golden Slam in 2 years. If he completes tennis. But we're going to talk more about his quest to complete the Golden Slam on the Roland Garros preview episode. I am very excited about that. Honestly, I might be a little more excited to talk about the WTA because that field is going to be stacked. You look at the top 10 of the current week, I think all 10 of those have a realistic shot. to make the final, to win a slam, and for six of those in the top 10, that'd be their first slam victory. Some of them have not even been into a slam final. So it's going to be very fun. It's super deep. You could argue we have the core four there. Big two, big three, core four. We're gonna call them that. But we're gonna get into all that later on. But I'm super excited. Congrats to Jannik. That's a heck of an accomplishment, especially to do it at such a young age. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, all of the above at the Tiebreak Pod. See y'all on the next one.